Yeah, the Weald Foundation was established as a running collection of vehicles. So the restoration of a vehicle in the Weald Foundation includes all the running gear and the interior of the vehicle. So this is the only Jagdpanther in the world that has its intact original interior. This is exactly as it would have been fitted out when it was in combat with the 116th Panzer Division, and every bit as much attention is paid to the details of all of the fittings and all of the small fittings. The radio works. We can talk to other German vehicles, and the ammunition is all genuine, original German ammunition casings, not obviously live. So every little detail, the Nahverteidigungswaffe for the grenades, all of that's correct, and as it would have been in 1945 when this vehicle was delivered. Well, I mean, nowadays a lot of people wonder about the radios, where they are, because when you take interior pictures or you look at interior pictures from the war, they don't know that the radios are off down there beside the machine gun operator. He's also the funker, the radio operator. Behind him, sitting here, with his head out the hatch, is the commander, and then you've got the loader operating in this area back here. And one of the final developments for the Jagdpanther, which never actually got implemented, was an autoloader.
Out of interest, what is the Rookworth halt lever that the machine gunner has?
This one here, nearest us.
Yeah.
That's for putting you can push that up and down. That's for putting in and out your Z14 binocular periscope.
Oh, no.
Oh, I beg you. Oh yeah, that's the commander's lever for instructing the driver to turn right or left. It's a ship's. There is an intercom, but for general use, they found the semaphore much better. The driver has a little panel in front of him on top of the dashboard, and little red and green sections that is being pointed out to go left or right. So that's maybe a novel thing to know about. But again, that's the detail that the wheel go to. Now for that, we knew about this semaphore idea. We had to go to the VTS in Koblenz. They lent us one of these devices. But, the Imperial War Museum lent the foundation, the one from up there, to copy it. The one down there at the VTS in Koblenz lent us the one to copy it. So that we now, and of course in return, we gave them versions of this for their vehicles. So we now have a fully working steering system. Not very important, but very interesting to have the thing complete, because you look into any Jagdpanther in anywhere else, it's just usually blank, empty. Current restoration projects are 3 four-wheeled armoured cars. There's a radio car 223, one of the heavy support car with the 2-centimeter automatic gun 222, and then a late war radio vehicle without a turret called a 261. And we're collecting parts for a 221, which is the original scout car. It's much smaller, has a smaller body on it and so forth, but the same engines and so forth. So that's the current project. But then immediately after that, we have the 2 South African Marmon Harrington reconnaissance cars. So.
Have you driven this yet? Have you driven this yet?
No. No.
They're not letting you?
No, I've no training on tank driving.
It's not hard. If you hit something, nobody cares.
Well, this is true, but the Weald Foundation care because it costs a couple of million to restore. And the insurance company probably cares because they have to pay out a huge amount. No, we were at the open day. We were making the point with our own members that please stay away, because if you get hit by a passenger car at 46 miles an hour in England, you're dead. If you get hit by a Jagdpanther at 1 mile per hour, it's 46 tons, you're dead. No, and the driver, actually, a comment that's worth knowing about is the driver really has very poor and limited vision. Of course, they didn't mind what they banged into, as you say, but he really is limited vision. And if the Jagdpanther goes up on a bank, he's looking at the sky, so he's just hoping that there's nothing hidden away down there in the depths. The gun has an interesting story about it, because there was an order with the MEAG company to build these Jagdpanther, and they were meant to build by the end of the war. They should have built or assembled about 1,000 Jagdpanthers. They only managed about 200. This one was one of 80 were sent over to Hanover to the M&H company to be assembled, and they were none too happy because they were churning out Panthers at that time, but they had to get involved in the Panther program and the Jagdpanther program, and then finally a new company was started up in Berlin to build Jagdpanthers. So what happened then was they were so far behind because Braunschweig, where MEAG were, was the test run for the Dresden firebombing. So Braunschweig got carpet bombed with incendiaries, and the fireball burnt over the city for 2.5 days. And this had the effect, not so much on the factory, although there was damage on the factory, it actually dispersed the population completely, so that the workers weren't available. So that's really why the factory sort of almost went out of business. But what they then had was they had 1,000 of the armoured bodies sitting there, ready to be fitted out. 400 in total of them actually got fitted out, but there was 1,000 of these guns already built, 400 used up in the vehicles. So they gave these guns to the Festungstruppen, who were building the fortifications along the German border, and 450 of them were installed on concrete mounts and on temporary girder mounts. And the gun was completely destroyed on this, but we managed to get one of those guns that had been used as a Festungsmount, and obviously we had to rebuild the carriage and so forth, but it's an original Jagdpanther gun, just never got fitted in a Jagdpanther during the war. And you know a little bit about the Weald Foundation and what we try to achieve. By the way, the founder of the foundation is Michael Gibb. All of the creative thinking is his thing, but guys like me are on the board as trustees and so forth, because it's an independent charity now, and it has to live on the endowment that he gave, which gives a monthly income, and that's how we do all our work on.